There was once a small village tucked away in the mountains. The people there lived simple lives, but one thing plagued them. They had no steady source of light after sunset. Each night, the village fell into darkness. Children feared the shadows, elders stumbled on the uneven paths, and people rarely ventured outside once the sun dipped behind the mountains. Now, in that village lived a young woman named Leela. She was not powerful, not wealthy, and not considered important. But she had something rare. She cared deeply about the people around her. One evening, Leela sat quietly outside her hut, staring at the darkened village. She thought to herself, if no one else will bring light, maybe I can. The next day, she made a simple candle, just one. She lit it, and for the first time in years, there was a glow in the village square. Children gathered around, their fear replaced with laughter. Neighbors spoke to each other in the soft light, reconnecting after long nights of silence. But soon, people began to mock her. What difference can one candle make in this darkness? You are wasting your time. The night will swallow it. Still, every evening, Leela brought her candle. And every evening, the same thing happened. The darkness retreated, even if only a little. The ripple of one act weeks passed. One evening, an old man approached Leela and said, I have some wax left over from my trade. Perhaps you can make another candle. Another woman offered a bit of oil for a small lamp. A child brought string to use as wicks, and soon there were 2 candles, then 5, then 10. Eventually, the village that was once swallowed by darkness became a place of light and warmth every evening. The people realized that it wasn't the size of the flame that mattered. It was the courage of the first person who dared to strike a match. Simon Sinek's reflection. When I first heard a story like this, I realized it mirrored something we see every day in our own lives, in our organizations, in our families. We often believe that change requires massive resources, great power, or loud authority. But in truth, change begins when one person chooses to care, when one person decides to act without waiting for permission. Leela's candle was not just wax and flame, it was hope made visible. The spiritual lesson. Spiritually, the story teaches us something profound. The world is not transformed by grand gestures alone. It is transformed by consistent acts of love, compassion, and courage. When you bring light into even one dark place, you do something eternal. You show others what is possible, and in showing them, you give them permission to act too. This is compassion in action. This is leadership, the leadership truth. Leadership is not about being the strongest oak that never bends. It is about being the bamboo that survives storms by swaying. Leadership is not about standing on the tallest hill. It is about lifting others so they can see beyond the horizon. Too many people wait for someone else to solve the problem. They say, when I have more money, I'll help. When I have more influence, I'll lead. When things calm down, I'll try. But leadership and compassion don't wait for perfect conditions. They act here. They act now. Leela did not wait for electricity. She did not wait for permission. She lit one candle. The modern candle. Think about your own life. Maybe you look at your workplace and see burnout, cynicism, or competition. Maybe you look at your community and see division. Maybe you look at the world and see despair. And maybe you feel too small to make a difference. But here's the truth. You don't need to change everything. You only need to change something. Offer a kind word to someone who feels invisible. Speak up when silence would hurt more. Share your idea even if it's not perfect. Give your time, your energy, or your heart, however small it may feel. Because here's the beautiful thing about light. It doesn't argue with darkness. It simply shines, and the darkness has no choice but to retreat. A personal challenge. Simon Sinek often says, leadership is not about being in charge. It's about taking care of those in your charge. So ask yourself today, where is there darkness around me? What is one candle I can light? Who can I serve with compassion, even in a small way? Remember, leadership and spirituality are not abstract. They are practical. They are lived out in ordinary daily choices. The transformation. In time, Leela's village became known as the Village of Light. Travelers from other places came to see how a simple community lit their nights without fear. And whenever they asked how it all began, the villagers pointed to Leela. She would smile and say, it began with one candle. But the truth is, it never ended with her. her courage multiplied, her compassion spread. And that is the power of leadership rooted in love. Final words. The world does not need more noise. It does not need more pride or more people shouting from the mountaintop. What the world desperately needs is more candles in the dark. More people willing to act with compassion, to lead with love, to believe that even the smallest flame matters. So the next time you feel too small, remember Leela. Remember, you are the candle, and your light can ignite 1,000 more.